So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another day. It's Friday, the 22nd of May, and we're still in lockdown, but we're doing all right. The sun's shining, it's very windy. So today we're going to start off with a little warm up from the floor, and it would be useful to have something firm to put under your bottom. And I like to use a bolster, but if you don't have one, you can use like a couple of firm cushions or maybe some blocks. Now, a good way to get into this, if you're not super flexible, is to start off on the floor, and we're tucking the shoulders under, and then we're going to, oh yeah, before you go down, make sure you've got your belt handy. So you start off on the floor and then push up with your feet to then slide whatever it is you're using underneath you, and that way you are going to hopefully be successful in getting into this position. Now we're going to just make any adjustments that you need. So we're tucking our shoulders under, so we don't really want anything under the head, so just check that you're not, that your head's on the floor. And you can use the fact that we're at an angle now to really tuck your shoulders under, and then moving from side to side so you get a comfortable position. And then once we've got that sorted, we're just going to take that right knee forward and bring the knee towards the chest. And just begin to get our breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. So it's the Ujjayi breath. As we breathe in, we imagine we're taking the breath in through the front of the throat, and as we breathe out, we're imagining we're taking the breath out through the front of the throat. Okay, now just catching your hand on behind your thigh, and if you can't really bring your foot, yeah, you can bring your foot closer and just bend your knee, or you can just take your leg further away, or if that isn't going to work for you, you can actually just use your belt if that's going to work better. And then we're going to just rotate our foot. So we're rotating our right foot from the ankle and then changing the direction of that rotation. Lovely. And then let's swap legs. So we're going to just now hug that left knee to the chest. So you're feeling that, letting the weight of your hips go down onto your blocks or cushions. Feel the supporting foot connecting with the ground. And then catching around the thigh. You can keep the knee bent if you need, or use a belt if that works better for you. If you can straighten the leg, then that's good. And then we're just circling. See how much you can bring your toes down towards your shin. Changing the direction of that rotation. Lovely. And release. Okay, so now we're going to hug that right knee again, and this time we'll just stretch our left leg out. Keep our shoulders tucked under. So your foot's going to be hovering off the floor. See how much you can pull the knee down towards your chest. So you might be hopefully getting that hip flexor stretch. So we're letting the heel drop, but we're also stretching that leg away from our body. So it increases that stretch. Breathing. Keep the shoulders rolling back and down. Nice. And then we'll do that on the other side. So we're again pulling the left knee now, stretching through that right leg. Feel you're letting the right heel move away from the rest of your body. Feeling that stretch through the hip flexor on the right hand side. Breathe in. So keep lengthening, keep stretching away. And also dropping the heel down a little as you stretch it away. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Lovely. And then both knees back, bring both knees up, and we'll swap legs again. So this time we're catching our right knee, and as we exhale, we're just going to float our left leg up and float it down. This time, if you can take the heel down to the floor, then do. Keep our shoulders tucked under. So really stretch. See if you can feel the stretch coming over your tummy. Shoulders rolling back and down. Really long in the body. Lovely. Okay, now leave your leg floating wherever you can manage, and we're just going to do 5 circles in each direction. So we're sweeping round with that leg. So as we make our circles, we're pretty much leaving the right knee where it is. And we're going to now change the direction of those circles. Sweeping round. Keep the shoulders tucked under. Breathing. Lovely. And then bending that knee. Swap legs. Stretching the right leg away now. Left knee close toward your body. Take a breath in, exhale, floating up the leg and floating down. Keep the leg really long. Can you lengthen it even more? Inhale up, exhale down. Can you feel the stretch going up the hip flexor and coming up into your abdomen? You can try and bring the heel towards the floor. Exhale. You can alternate pointing the feet and flexing the heel. Really lengthen. Good. And up. And lengthen. And up. And lengthen. And up. Okay, leaving the leg up, we're going to make circles. Sweeping around. Some of you can get a really big circle, but if you need to, you can have the knee slightly bent if that works better for you. And one more, changing direction. Fine, lovely, and then release. And then we'll just bring one foot and then the other back down. And we're going to just stretch. I think we'll just actually come off our block. So if you bend the knees to lift up off your block, and then we'll stretch. So as we're stretching, we're even stretch through both legs and both arms, and then we'll do an extra stretch with the right arm, left leg, and then going the other way, left arm, right leg, and going the other way, the first way again. So you might just notice where you feel any sticky bits in your body. And then second side. Lovely. And then release. Okay, and then from there we're going to just roll onto one side and we'll come up into sitting. So again, I recommend that you use something firm to sit on. I want to, some of you, I don't know if I've shown you this before, this is called a wobble cushion. And it's called that because it's built in such a way that when you sit on it, it causes you to wobble. So it means that when you, in order to sit without wobbling, you have to use the correct muscles. So you end up activating your pelvic floor. So if anybody's got an issue with pelvic floor, then these wobble cushions are really effective. Because if you don't use your pelvic floor, then you'll end up just moving around. But so you can really tell when you've activated it. But when you activate your pelvic floor, then you become really stable in whatever position that you're holding. Okay, so from there, let's just do a little bit of arm warm up. So we're going to, let's just take our arms up and then take them down. Now as you take them down, just take them slightly behind you, up and slightly behind you. So when you bring them up, you can bring them slightly forward and exhale slightly back. So it's a bit like being a bird. Well, I don't know what it's like being a bird, but you can imagine. See if you can keep your arms really long and straight so that when you lift up, you're lifting up from your shoulders, and hopefully also feel the pelvic floor lifting as you send the sit bones down. One more, up and down. Good. So that's surprisingly, you can feel that, can't you? So, okay. And then from there, we're going to just take our left arm up and leaning to the side. So see how much of a length you can get through your left side, sending that left hip down as you stretch up with the right arm. Then you can do a little turn. And then changing side, stretching up. So you want your inner arm to come towards your ear, left and up. descend that right hip as you go over to the left. And if you can drop a little more. Keep the shoulder away from the ears. Nice. And let's do that one more time on each side. Straighten the arm, rotate your inner arm so that when you bring your arm up, your inner arm is in line with your ear. Reach for the ceiling. So you can use your right hand to support you. Stretch through the arm, descending that hip. So just go to the point where you can then feel a stretch. Now for me, I'm feeling it in my hip, but you'll get it in different areas. Try and keep your elbows straight. Breathing. So wherever you feel that, just try and soften into where you get that niggle. You may not get a niggle. Well, that's lovely for you. And then changing side, dropping the hip down. So if you find a position where you can feel the stretch. For some people, it's going to be more in the arms. You feel that in. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, slightly rotating to look over your right armpit. Well, look under, I should say. Great, and then release. So if you just show me where you're feeling, where you felt that. Yeah, in the arm. You felt it. Good. Okay, lovely. Right, so from there, we are going to take our belt. Let's actually change our leg position. So we'll take our legs out straight. So again, it's an extra little challenge when you've got your wobble cushion. So we're going to make a loop with our belt. So make it nice and wide if you're a little bit stiff in the shoulder. And let's send the arms up, pushing against our belt. Drop our shoulders. And breathe. Send the heels away. Good, lovely. Toes towards the ceiling. Yeah, Olive, give yourself a bit more width in your belt. Really push against the belt, straighten through your elbows. See if you can take the thumbs a little bit back behind you. Bring your belly forward a little bit. And then you'll feel that in the upper back. Lovely. And then release. Good. Okay. Right, so from there we're going to bring our right foot into our cross leg position. And if that hurts your knee at all, you can use cushions to support your knee so that you're not getting any problems with the knee. And then using the right hand against the knee, we're just going to rotate towards our left leg and using our belt, sitting up nice and straight. And then as you exhale, some of you may be able to go a bit lower. Or we can use our chair And you can bring your chair in front of you so that you've got something to lean forward onto. This chair is not ideal because I do it sideways. You can have a straight leg. So we're looking to get height through the spine. And also, if you've got a chair, it gives you something to push against, lengthening through the spine, shoulders away from the ears. Some of you can go lower. You can take your head down onto the chair. So just find the height that works for you. Now, what you want to do is really feel that back drawing in and up. So we're not doing this kind of position, we're doing this position. Nice. Okay, and then we'll take everything to the other side. So we're going to change leg. So now we've got the left leg bent. You take the left hand against the left knee to help you to get your rotation. And then we're hinging forward. So you can use your belt to hinge forward, or if you've got a chair, you can use your chair. So we're looking to get long front body, open the chest. So you want to, yeah, that's it, Hazel. So you want to now bring your left, once you've got your rotation with your left hand, then you can bring your left arm towards your leg or towards your chair. So there's a little rotation going on. And if you find that okay, you can go lower. So you're beginning to lean forward over your leg. Lovely, and then coming up. So let's do that, the same thing, but we'll take our legs wide. So you want to hinge forward. So you want your tailbone going back. And then again, we can use our chair. I won't use my chair because it'll get in the way, but if you can imagine you've got your chair there, you can use your chair. Or those of you that are more flexible, if you've got that flexibility, you can come forward. Lovely, nice head. So just wherever it works for you, stretch your heels away, toes up to the ceiling. And if you need to have a chair really close up, and you're just giving a little hinge forward like that, that's fine. But as you get the stretch through your hamstrings, and as you begin to get that tilt through the pelvis, you'll be able to bring your belly forward, keeping your spine nice and straight. Just notice what's happening to your heels, because you can actually activate your heels, pressing them slightly down into the floor and almost using them to drag yourself forward. If you find it quite hard to get forward, you can try lifting up your bottom so you're sitting up a little bit higher. You want to try and get a wedge under your bottom, and that will help to give you that tilt, that forward tilt. Okay, and then coming up, we're going to now just turn down to stretch down to our right leg. So again, you can use your chair. So just go to wherever your body's able to take you. We're getting that rotation coming from the left hip. So we're bringing our abdomen over, more over towards the right. Keep that left hip down. Nice. Lovely, that's nice, isn't it? And then coming up. So what we want to make sure that we do is feel, we don't want to come forward in such a way that our back is going into a hump. So although you can get lower that way, it's not really good for your back. So you can bring yourself up higher if it helps, and then when we go to the other side, you want to keep a long front body, keep a long, keep your vertebrae nice and articulating. So if it means that you need to stay a bit higher, that's okay. And just drop the weight down onto your right side. So as you rotate from the right hip towards your left hip, and you can always take the forehead onto something. Now, can we stretch through our heels? Toes up to the ceiling, and use your heels, kind of like you send your heels down and they pull you forward. So keep a nice long spine as much as you can, so the sternum's coming forward and slightly up. Nice. So see if you can get even longer through the sternum before we, shoulders down away from the ears. Actually, just out of, let's see if we can do this. If you let go, so you're not using your hands, and clasp your hands behind your back to see if you can squeeze your shoulders together. And then go back down. Yeah. Just let your head relax. Don't shove your chin forward. Good. And then come on. Good. That was nice. Let's just do that. Clasp the hands, and we'll just go down to the other side to get that balance. And release. Right, from there, we're going to take, if we can, we're going to have the right foot in front like this in a cross leg position, and the left foot going back behind us. So we want the left foot, the toes to go pointing back, and if possible, we want to get the fist between the thigh and the heel. So when you go into that position, you might find that you're tilting over to the right, so you can pop something under your right hip to make it easy for you to just drop down in that left hip. So you want to have your hips on the same plane. So really give yourself the height that you need to make that a possible position for you. And then we're sitting up tall. And then we're going to just rotate to the right. So you can actually use your belt around the right knee to get your lift and turn. You might feel that in the opposite hip. Get as much height as you can. And then we'll go to the other side. So if this position doesn't work for you, then you can just have a leg cross position, and you can do the same rotation to either side. Again, keeping both hips descending and turn. Nice, and then release. Okay, and then we'll go to the other side. So like I say, if that's a position that's hard for you to do, you can just go into any sitting position, and you can do the turns in a position that's comfortable for you. But otherwise, we're going to take the left knee forward now, and we're bending our right foot behind us with our right toes pointing straight back, and taking a fist between the heel and the thigh. So you can prop up your left hip now to keep both hips even, and allow that right hip to descend so that we're not lifting up in the hip. I mean, you don't want to drop it either, but you don't want to. You want to keep the hips even. And then we're going to rotate so we can use our belt. Lift and turn. Let the back waist go back. And then we'll go to the other side. So using your belt, if you like. Lift and turn, so we're going to rotate round to the right. See if you can see over your right shoulder. and release. Nice. Okay, so then we'll just ease out our legs, give them a little shake. And just come off any blocks that you've got. We're going to lean back, but bringing our fingers to point forward. Take your hands flat on the floor. If you need to, you can lean back and then see if you can lift your chest and push down into your hands. So it's as if you can also, if you want, lift your bottom off the floor, but it's that feeling that you want to lift off with your hands. So really stretch through your fingertips as well as your the heel of the hand. Breathing. And then if you can, see if you can just lift your bottom off the floor. Some of you can lift all the way up, pointing your toes. And trying, actually, Vico, I wouldn't do this. You can lift off a little bit, but I wouldn't. Well, I don't know, if it feels okay. So now we'll do it the other way, so fingers back. Yeah, because I think it's more to do with your upper body strength. So yeah, Vico, go for it if you felt okay with that. Fingers pointing back this time and activating your hands. So sitting straight as you can, shoulders rolling back and down. So not hunching up. We're taking the shoulders away from the ears. Pressing through the fingers. And then, if you can, sliding up. So that you're going to feel that through your arms, through your fingers. And then lowering down. Great, and then we'll just have a little shiggle of our hands, give them a little shake. So when you shake your hands, try and shake into the wrists as well. Nice. Okay, so we're going to do another forward bend, which we're going to do it with the chair, so with a bit of height, to do this sideways. So if you are able to do it with your legs, both legs straight, then that would be the most straightforward. But if you come right up onto something, then you can use your chair so that when you come forward, you feel supported to relax with the head down. So it's kind of like a supported forward bend. Now, especially if you're pregnant, you want to do this with your legs a little bit wider to make room for baby. And if you find when you have your legs straight that it's just too much going on in the hamstrings for you to really relax, then you can just cross the legs and do the forward bend that way. So yeah, so Hazel, can you pop yourself up a little bit higher? That looks nice, doesn't it? Now bring whatever it is you're leaning on closer to you. That looks lovely. Vico, yeah. Yeah, nice, Kirsten, lovely. So we're looking for a position that you can actually relax and soften into. So if you're finding that it's quite stressful on your body in that, then one thing to do is get higher. You need to get higher, Hazel, so if you make what you're sitting on a bit of a wedge shape, so that you're, maybe turn around so you're facing towards your bed. And, yeah, that's right. So you want a kind of wedge shape, and then go up first. So think about coming up through your tummy, and then it's bringing your tummy forward rather than your chest. Your chest will come forward, but it's not chest first, it's tummy first. Yeah, that's better. Nice. Breathing. And just notice where you feel, you might feel it in your legs. If you've got a chair like I have that you can put your toes on, and that's quite nice because it gives an extra stretch through the hamstring. So try and see then, if once you've got your stretch, see if you can find a place to relax into it. So if you're using cross leg, perhaps you can change the cross of the legs. Now if your legs were crossed, but otherwise just carry on. And just noticing which part of your body is not wanting to soften. And rather than force it, just come up a little bit. See if you can breathe into wherever you feel that resistance. Shoulders away from the ears. All the time thinking to lengthen through your spine. So although you're bending forward, your spine is not, you're not hunching in the back. So you're getting a lovely long spine. Feel that articulation through each vertebrae. That's it. So you can just work your way into your forward bend. That's lovely, Vicky. Yeah. Good. And then we'll come back up from there. Nice. Okay, so from there you can use your chair if you've got one handy, or you don't necessarily need a chair. We're going to just go back onto our back and bring our right ankle in front of our left knee. So pop something under your head if that feels more comfortable for you, and then we're going to just catch that left knee, bring it towards you. You can use your belt. Keep the shoulders tucking under, and if you'd like to get a little bit more stretch going on in that right glute, you can just let your left knee just move slightly to the left. Lovely. And then we'll change side. So we're bringing our left ankle now in front of the right knee. You can, if it works better for you, you can keep your foot on the chair. Otherwise, you can pull forward either on the thigh or the shin. And then if you want to get a little bit more stretch in that left glute, you can just lean slightly to the right. Keep your tailbone down. So don't let your tailbone curl up. So you're rather lengthening it down towards the floor. And then release. Okay. And then we'll just straighten through the right leg. Bend your left knee, and we'll just bring just the one knee over to the right and rotate into your left. So we'll just do it with the one knee today. You can push down on that left knee to help you rotate a little bit more to the right, sorry, to the left. So you're pressing down on your left knee to rotate to the left. Really stretch. You can really push down onto your knee and get even more of a rotation round, looking at your left hand, left arm. Great, and we'll try that on the other side. So moving our blocks over to the left. So straightening our left leg now. Bringing the right knee up and taking that right knee over. You can push down on your right knee, rotate to the right. So make it a little bit more active than we do normally with two legs. So you're rotating down onto that. Onto that right shoulder. Breathing. So noticing where you feel any catching if you do. Some of you might be not needing to use any cushions. You can just have your knee on the floor if that feels nice for you. So a little bit more actively taking that right knee over to the left and actively rotating, resisting with the right shoulder, which is rotating to the right. Nice. And then release. Great. So from there, we're going to do a lying down Baddha. So, and after that, we'll go into a relaxation. So you might want to have your blanket hand. Then this might be a good moment. Okay, so if you bring something under your knees, it can be cushions or blocks, so that your knees feel supported and the soles of the feet come together. So that when you have your knees together in your, when you have your feet together and your knees to either side, your knees feel supported. So you may want to pop something a little bit more underneath so that there's no strain. Shoulders tucking under. Now, if you find at this point you can pop something under your head, if that works better for you. You want to make sure you can keep your shoulders tucked under and that your chin's not pointing up in the air, but the nape of your neck's nice and long, so that your chin's more or less parallel with the wall that's in front of you if you're not outside, otherwise the tree. Okay. So from here, we're going to go into a relaxation. So you can choose just to let your legs flop a little, let your feet stretch a little bit further out. And if you prefer not to have anything under your knees, of course you can change that. You can put a little blanket under. And then tucking our shoulders under. So we're keeping that lovely space between the ears and the shoulders. Just going to begin to follow the breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Just noticing the rise and fall of your breath. And if you are using something under your knees, can you get a feeling of allowing the weight of your body to make even more contact with that cushion, that bolster? So you're giving more weight of your body to the support that's holding you. So with every exhalation, just allowing a little bit more of the weight of your body that's in contact with the mat, just to descend a little bit more. And then very gently prepare to bring your awareness back to your body on the mat. Just move your fingers and toes, stretch your arms and legs, have a big stretch, and then we're just going to roll onto one side for a moment. And just taking your time. Before we come back into our sitting, where we'll just take a moment to finish together. Little baby, little Rowan. So nice straight spine, bringing the thumbs onto your sternum. Just noticing the connection of the hands to each other. And the warmth of your thumbs in the heart center. Lovely. Thank you all.